All right, grand rising, grand arrival, grand return. Peace and blessings to the righteous and repentant alike. I am Chief Sophia of the AmaruKhan Band of Indians, and this is something new. I have been looking into different calendars, and this is one of the calendars that I came across. It is called a quantum memoir, and it is designed for you to go through your daily life and set 7-day goals, 28-day goals with the lunar cycle, and year goals. And so I wanted to take, with the creator's permission, of course, I wanted to take this concept and turn it into something that I could use. Um, and I would say that due to my nature as I have Saturn in the first house, I have Pluto in the first house, I have the moon in the first house. I don't goal set like other people, meaning I don't make these really specific, hard and fast goals that I have to meet by a certain date. Um, I just have general guidelines of what I will accept and what I won't accept. And then I kind of go along with the flow of how things are flowing. Um, this again is not recommended for everybody, but I mean, when you have water in your first house and Pluto and Saturn and the moon, which is all really emotional, it's really difficult to make decisions at any time because everything on the outside of me is either really emotional or it appears to be emotional to other people, even if I don't feel like it's emotional necessarily, or my goals are just like, I wouldn't say too big, but I'm still learning how to put them into smaller chunks because I see the big picture, and then you got to be able to break that down into smaller pieces. But I just find it's easier for me to go with the flow. So I don't necessarily need this to set goals for day to day, but what I do need is something that keeps me in alignment with the energy so that I know what energy is coming when, and also how to flow with the energy as it shows up. So as you can see here, it has all the full moons. So this is different from the cosmic tree that I just did because this has more points on it. This has 13 points on it. 13 is related to the number of lunar cycles in the year. And also 13 is really important to lots of moon related things and other stuff. So 13 is a really critical number. It's also one of the primary numbers in the 1320 Zolkin calendar. And so this is a way to keep in flow with the 13 energy. So I like this because it's like, oh, you just look at the month and you see the energy for that whole month. And whereas the cosmic tree is every 36 days, so you have to actually count the days. There's no getting around counting the days. So I believe that one is more specific, but this one is more general. And sometimes more general is easier for people to understand. Plus, you got this different sort of pictorial view with this flower of life here, which people have probably seen before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a reading where we talk about each of the different circles and what they mean. And I'm also going to tie that in with my tarot reading and see if this kind of helps to even things out or just gives a different perspective of how this energy is going to flow. It doesn't negate my 36-day cosmic tree, but that is really for a very specific person, like a very spiritually inclined person who can feel the energy change down to the day. General public people will probably understand this a lot better. It's something more familiar. It doesn't go into a bunch of esoteric, nonsense, stuff that's been made up. People heard stuff and then, I changed all of it because all of it's wrong. This is kind of like, okay, this is a flower of life. People have seen this before. It ties easily into the 13, which is related to the 13 moons and these 13 planet placements. And we'll be going over the cosmic tree again pretty soon. But I just want to get through this first. Okay, so the very first placement is the middle of the circle, and that is the purpose. And as you can see, that's the ascendant. So the ascendant here is the wheel of fortune, which is good fortune, karma or dharma, and luck. And that's through the lens of the first house in Libra, which is to find yourself in others and look for your balance. Oh, wait, it's something else. Find yourself in others. No, find yourself in others and look for your balance. So that is going to be the overall theme for the year. That is different from how I read it in the tree. This is the energy for the whole year is this good fortune and to find yourself in others. So I had mentioned in the tree reading or one of the longer readings, maybe just a straight up astrotarography, that for some reason this year has heavy lean on other people energy and building maybe quietly. It's not like overt, like there's a bunch of people on the, actually on the card, but it's definitely we're building. All right. So this December full moon, which was just over 2 weeks ago now, and we're about a week out from the January full moon, but this energy from the December full moon is this South Node, which is the Two of Wands in reverse, and Pluto. The South Node is the Two of Swords in reverse, which is torn, skepticism, and negative mind through the lens of the first house in Libra, which is to find yourself in others and look for your balance. And Pluto is, here we go, the Knight of Coins, which is stability, perseverance, and security through the lens of the fifth house in Aquarius, which is future oriented, live life to the fullest and unusual, and experiment to keep rebellious nature in check. So on one hand, you have the negative mind, right? The torn, the skepticism, the negative mind. But on the other hand, you have the stability and the perseverance. And so it's kind of like if you look at the last month since the new moon, since the full moon, that's, to me, that's feels like what the energy has been like. Like things are moving forward, but they're also moving backwards. Being torn between, are we making progress or are we not making progress? Are we doing the right thing? Are we not doing the right thing? But keeping in mind that this wheel of fortune energy, the good fortune, the karma, the dharma, and the luck is, through the lens of working with others. Again, if you're working with others in the right way, you're helping when you can, and you're not deliberately, keeping yourself hidden, more than likely things are going to go just fine. And I feel like if this wheel of fortune is what is turning the year, literally everything you touch should turn to gold. Things should just work out. That doesn't mean there's not going to be any disappointments or anything, but things should just work out. Oh, and I forgot to mention the purpose here in the Quantum Memoir book, which you can get, memoir book, which you can get. The website is on the bottom here, and just let her know that I referred you. The purpose is the core reason for telling your story. So basically, the core reason for telling your story is the Wheel of Fortune, which is good fortune, karma, dharma, and luck, through the lens of find yourself in others and look for your balance. So literally, that is the reason, that is the purpose for this year, for you to get the luck from helping other people and balancing yourself, your own personal needs out with the needs of others. That is the purpose of this year. Okay. The ground, which is the one I just did, that's the Two of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles or coins, and that's the foundation that keeps you centered. So it's actually this position, the December full moon, which is ground, and also the January full moon, which is initiate. We haven't gotten to the January full moon yet. I'm going to do a reading though for that in a separate video. But that particular card is our Saturn card, which is the Nine of Coins. And that is success, great love, and rewards through the lens of the sixth house in Pisces, which is to be patient and wise and follow your own path. So if this is the winter season, the foundation that keeps us centered, we should start to see some rewards from that. And as I mentioned in the longer reading, it seems like these more harsher aspects, like in this case, this Two of Swords, in the other case, the Ten of Swords, which is up in July, this should actually help us to keep those things to a minimum. Like if it's supposed to peak, and I would say that this is probably when the energy peaks. I mean, I'm going to obviously be monitoring this because I've never used this system before, and we'll see. But I definitely feel like so far December was right on point. January feels like it could also end up being accurate. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, so let's look at the next one, which is the February full moon, and that's intend. And intend is both this intend and activate, and that's early spring, which is the goals and aspirations you set. So the first one is the Hermit, which is our Earth card. Let me see. I knew I should have highlighted these so I could see them. Here we go. The Hermit, which is willful intelligence, enlightenment, and journey towards secrets revealed through the lens of the 12th house in Virgo, which is to pay attention to details while remaining compassionate. So, and what did that say? The goals and aspirations you set. I mean, yeah, learning and journey towards secrets revealed and paying attention to details while remaining compassionate, that's for sure a good one. The next one is the March full moon, which is our Mars card, and that's the Five of Cups. Oh, it's towards the end. And that is insight, knowledge, sadness, and depression through the lens of the 11th house in Leo, which is needs outside environment to provide courage and power. Make dreams come true with friends. So the intend, the early spring portion, which again, February and March, peaks with the February full moon and the March full moon. That's going to be about really solidly building these relationships. And you know, it's funny because the Hermit and the Five of Cups are both like cloaked guys with their heads down, but the one that's leading, the one on the inside of the circle, is the one with the light, and the one on the outside of the circle is the one without the light. So again, it's this whole thing about don't let the blind lead the blind, but if you have the light, it's your responsibility to lead the blind with your insight and knowledge and willful intelligence and enlightenment, both, you know, in regards to helping people, you know, accomplish what needs to be accomplished. The next one is the April full moon, and that's observe. And observe is the awareness you gain from your experiences. So this is when you perhaps will start to see what is going to manifest from the things that you've done. The first card we have here is our Jupiter card, which is the Nine of Wands, and that's delimitation, recognition, and strength through the lens of the 9th house in Gemini, which is learn how to properly use words and wisdom. So again, recognition and strength by, you know, knowing when to hold them and know when to fold them. And being, as you can see in the card, very vigilant about what's going on around you. The May full moon is related to the sun. The sun is 3 of coins, which is good results and teamwork through the lens of the 4th house in Capricorn, which is strong relationship with God, invest heavily in comfort. So this is when this April and this May is when hopefully the results will start to come in. And recognition and strength, for the things that you've accomplished, and you'll be able to build this, and start to invest in your comfort. I think up to that point is definitely a lot of, it's a lot of building and trying to get things done the right way and setting things up in a certain way. But more than likely, by the time we get to the spring, it'll be time to actually start building and doing the work, or at least reaping some of the harvest. It's not always going to be all of the harvest. It don't have to be all of it, but at least some of it. Okay. The next placement we have is this June full moon, which is connect, and that's the summer, and that's relationships and insights you build. So that's connect and elevate. So the June full moon is Neptune. Here we go. Princess of Coins, which is ambition, diligence, and desire through the lens of the 6th house in Pisces, which is be patient and wise, follow your own path, and stop worrying about a schedule. So June is a time when a lot of people go on vacation anyway. So your diligence and your desires will be worried about, carried out, and it shouldn't be trying to force it into some kind of a whatever schedule. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. July is this Mercury energy, which is funny because that's about the time Mercury happens on our on the cosmic tree too. So it's not like it's totally out of alignment. This just tells us where the energy is focused. And Mercury is 10 of Swords, which is sudden ending, failure, and backstabbing. This is going to be in July. Through the lens of the 3rd house in Sag, which is be optimistic, always see the bright side of life. So basically this is like, it may look like a failure, but it's really not. Things may seem to not, because this energy, this connect time period is the relationships and insights you build. So for sure, you could be gaining a new perspective about how things are operating around you, because the whole thing is you want to be optimistic and always see the bright side. So it doesn't seem like there's a bright side to the 10 of Swords, but there is something that we're learning that's very helpful. All right, so our August full moon and our September full moon are related to express, which is the communication of your truth. So this is how your truth is going to be communicated. In August, we have Venus, which is the 7 of coins, which is the 10 to your own pockets. And that's positive results and patience through the lens of the 5th house in Aquarius, which is to be future oriented, live life to the fullest and unusual, and experiment to keep rebellious nature in check. So this is definitely focus on your own money, focus on what you're trying to accomplish, keep your head, your eyes on the prize. And the same thing with September, which is related to the moon. And that's the 4 of coins, which is security, limit, and conservation through the lens of the 4th house in Capricorn, which is a strong relationship with God and invest heavily in comfort. So that's exactly what this guy is doing. You start investing in your comfort. Was it with the May full moon? Yeah, with the May full moon, you start to invest in your comfort, but you accelerate that investment in your comfort by September. All right, so let's look at the last two, October and November. October is North Node in Uranus, but that is refine, and that is the growth and clarity you achieve. So this is the reflections that you should have on the year. And it's interesting that there's the double Fool card is here. So the North Node is the Fool, which is beginning, start of a new journey. through the lens of the seventh house in Aries, which is don't be aggressive when cooperation is required. We also have the Knight of Wands here. That's Uranus, and that's fiery love, self-confidence, and motivation. I don't know what that house is about because I didn't write it down. And the next one we have again with November, the integrate moon, that's a descendant, which is also the Fool card, and that's beginning, start of a new journey. So I would say this is like by October, November, you should really see your new beginning, how it played out, because this is the time where you have the growth and clarity you achieve. So this is when you recognize it, this is when you see it, this is when you reflect upon it. October and November is, again, November is a whole Thanksgiving thing, so that makes sense. And we have a double Fool card, which is basically like a I would say a smaller new beginning, because the North Node and Uranus share a sphere, but then you still have that emphasis on the new beginning with November. Like, it's either an emphasis on a new beginning or it's an explanation of the new beginning, because it could be that, again, if you're like me and you don't really make like daily, weekly goals and stuff like that, you just don't, I don't function like that. I have my financial goals, but we do that in September with the fiscal new year, which, okay, that's good. The fiscal new year on here, September full moon, that is accelerate. Accelerate is ready to express, which is communication of your truth. Yeah, so that's the right time to be setting your financial goals. And it's literally the fourth coin. So if you needed a confirmation, that's when you set your financial goals. But my financial goals are not who I am. It's just a reflection of, the things that I believe that I need to have, or to live a particular lifestyle, to have a particular experience. And so, when you change your focus from goals, like tangible physical goals, to experiences, you need calendars that do different things. Like, again, the reason why I did it like this is because I want to make sure that each month by the full moon, I can tap into the energy of what I'm supposed to be experiencing. And I'm going to also do this for the lunar new year, and we'll see by every new moon. Is that right? New moon? That would be the new moon, because the new moon is in the middle. We'll see with the lunar new year calendar, what we should be seeing at the new moons. So, I'm always like, building on top of things. So that's how I would do it. The Gregorian New Year rules the full moons, and the Lunar New Year rules the new moons. Now, reminder, there's 4 different starts to the year, at least. At least. There's many different ways you can start the year. You just need to be able to explain it to yourself how you actually come up with your things. So I think reviewing this was greatly helpful for me. It gives me a better picture of what the year should look like. Also, I'll be able to, at a glance, see, okay, we're coming into, the January full moon. I should start to see some pentacles show up, because we have the 9 of Pentacles. There's no if, ands, or buts about it, because 9 of Pentacles is a tangible earth thing. It's right around the corner. It has to deal with, Saturn, which we're in Saturn season. I mean, this couldn't line up more perfectly with actually the way things are. So, again, thank you to Miss Cheryl for allowing me to take her quantum memoir handouts and kind of finesse them a little bit and add some information. And so whenever I post these, it's going to be an astro memoir entry, and I'm going to go over, whatever it is I put on here. And this is going to be a tool that we use to help us keep in order for the year. Now, again, if you like calendars, you like having daily lists of things that you have to do, and you haven't been able to quite figure out how to put it into an order that allows you to get everything done that you need to get done in order to reach a specific goal that you have that you're trying to do, or if you're just someone who wants a more methodical way of documenting your days, which eventually I'll be using it for that kind of thing too, but just not for goals, because I don't really have goals like that. But what I do need is to document my days and things that go on. So I'll probably be using it for that. But you can go to the website, quantummemoir.com, and get a copy of she has a physical copy that you can write in, or you can get the digital copy, which is what I did. So you can print out what you need when you need it, or use it digitally. Like more than likely, I'm going to use mine digitally. So, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to share this information with you. Peace and blessings, and we'll see you in the next video.